All right. Good morning, Keller Williams, Greater Metropolitan, and welcome to our Tuesday morning sales meeting. We have a great one for you this week, as we do every week, I like to believe, but very excited to be diving into a few pieces of our company and our culture through our agent-led communities. So we're going to be deep diving those right around the top of the hour. So excited to have you with us to learn more about how we can how we can serve you as agents, and also how you can be involved and help lead our company. So we're going to go ahead and dive in, as we have been for the last few weeks, kicking this thing off with a conversation around the 6 personal perspectives. Now, you will remember, if you've been here the last couple of weeks, that these were developed by our founder and chairman of the board, Gary Keller, whilst he was creating the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. He identified that across the entire country, top agents focused on holding these 6 personal perspectives in mind as they approached their goals and their life in general. So we heard a couple weeks ago about self-mastery, last week about committing to the 80-20 principle, or the Pareto principle, named after Vilfredo Pareto, famous Italian pea farmer and economist. And this week we want to talk about moving from E to P, from E to P. So I will ask you to pop into the chat. Do you know what is the E and what is the P? I know some of you know. I'm going to hold my breath while you answer this. Should have the Jeopardy music queued up for these moments. Liz says entrepreneurial to purposeful. That is absolutely right. So moving from E to P. Some people also say it's moving from easy to painful, because what we do entrepreneurially, and we are all entrepreneurs, is what comes naturally to us, right? Is our natural style, it's our natural behavior, and we also have natural limitations and natural ceilings. And so what top performers do in any field, in any stage and age of life, is they stop doing what comes naturally and they do what's necessary, and they start to get purposeful about the things that they do. And when we do that, we break through those natural ceilings and we reach levels of achievement that we would have otherwise thought belonged to somebody else with different genetics or a different upbringing or a different background or different opportunities. But what top performers do is they go internal, right? They shift that locus of control inside and they say, what are the things that I need to do differently? So when you're in the process of moving from E to P, it is important to recognize that there are 3 main things that you can do in that process. One, you can think models, right? Think models. So what are the examples, right? The penultimate exemplars of the craft that you should follow, right? Now, we are a company of models and systems. So if you need a model for anything, whether it's, let's just go with an economic model, a lead generation model, a budget model, an organizational model, a database model, all of those things are available and a part of our company. The second thing is think systems, right? So think systems. So you got a great model. Now we have to have the systems that are going to support and drive towards the execution of that model. And then finally, think people. And I think that this is, it's the hardest one, really, if you ask me, because as entrepreneurs, you know, we're out there to stake our claim. We're taming the wild frontier of real estate in a way that nobody else ever has before. And then we start to hit a roadblock, and we just decide that that's going to be our level, and we're not comfortable asking for help because we don't always live in environments that make it okay. But I want you to know that here at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, The people component should come as easy as anything else, if not the easiest. And the people piece might be somebody that is you're going to hire, right? So that might be you hire a marketing coordinator, you hire a transaction coordinator, you hire an admin, right? Those things are available inside of our company. Or it might be a peer, right? You might need what I like to call a battle buddy, right? Just somebody that you're going to swap running buyers with, you're going to commiserate with, somebody you're going to hop on the phone with throughout the day just to keep gas in the tank. Being purposeful about the people you spend time with is there's nothing that is going to impact your life or your business more than doing that. And then finally, there's the people that are doing what it is you want to do or have done what you want to do, and that really falls into coaching. And so when you look at moving from E to P, models, systems, and people are going to be the things that allow you to break through to your next level of achievement, where you will invariably hit another ceiling, and you will have to upgrade your models, your systems, and your people to continue to succeed. So if you would like to discuss E to P more or any of the 6 personal perspectives, let me know. We're going to keep talking about these, and we'll have some courses coming up over the summer specific to this topic at a very deep dive, detailed level. And then we have our beliefs. So last week or 2 weeks ago, I touched on teamwork. I'm going to touch on it again. Guys, the conversation we're having today about communities is a really meaningful one. Our organization is historically operated on the committee model, which is great and has a lot of benefit. And we still protect all of the things that our committees used to do inside of our communities and inside of our organization. But our opportunity to involve and engage more agents on the topics and in the ways that they want to be engaged was our goal. And so when we rally the troops, right, when we circle the wagons and get everybody together to have a conversation about what's important to the people in the room is really powerful. And that's what our communities do. And that teamwork component is allowing everyone to achieve more. All right. Congrats to our cappers. A fantastic start to the year for all of these pretty people who are capped rather. This is February. So congratulations to everyone. Let's get some shout outs in the chat box. There are some familiar faces, some new faces, and some faces we're not used to seeing on here until halfway through the year. So we are thrilled at the successful start for these folks and hope that they will enjoy their 100% commission from here on out. And while we're doing the celebration thing, happy Kelliversary, happy work anniversary to all of these folks who are anniversarying their start with our company. So very, very excited for all of these folks to be with us for another year and what I am sure will be their best year yet. And then speaking of years, another one in the books for all these folks this month. Happy birthday to everyone on here. Please pop in the chat box and give some love to anybody that you see on this list. I'm looking for anybody that I know. I know a few of these folks. Happy birthday to you all. Really excited to celebrate with you this month. All right, guys. And then as you've heard us talk about, we are hiring. We continue to hire as an organization. We have open positions, and we have been really, really fortunate to benefit from the referrals that you all are providing. There's no bad referral, right? You know that as a real estate agent, we know that as an organization. So while we continue to search for our assistant market center administrator position that is open, and among others, please let us know if you know someone who would benefit from being a part of our company's culture, a part of our staff, and is somebody that you would want to serve you in the growth of your business. All right, so I'm going to pause here for a second because I wanted to have a conversation with Sean Hadley before we got into everything else. I want to bring Sean to the main stage for just a second. If you could unmute Sean, because there's both he and I have been having a few conversations with each other, and also with a lot of the agents, and so. I'm going to keep this, we're going to keep this brief, keep it light, but also want to help you all build a script to respond to questions, comments, concerns that you're going to get from clients around what's happening in the world today, right? Specifically, there is a situation, a conflict in Ukraine. It has many secondary and tertiary consequences that will impact us here in our homes, but we want you to be able to answer questions from your clients, or navigate them at the very least, about, hey, how is what's going on over there impacting what's going on over here, and primarily as it relates to interest rates, right? So Sean, you want to set the stage a little bit around, what are some key dates coming up? Get the Fed this Thursday or next Thursday, the meeting?
Yeah, next Tuesday, the Fed meeting starts and concludes Wednesday. 2:15 is when they do their press conference. And this meeting's been on the calendar for quite some time. So you may remember, November and then December, rates started to push up a little bit, and it was all anticipation of the Fed finally kind of coming to terms that inflation is likely not just kind of a blip on the screen here. It may be here, so they're going to have to act. And is it kind of a slow build for maybe it was going to be May, and then kind of the tea leaves were read, and it was going to say, okay, well, this is the meeting. Next week's the meeting when they're going to bump the interest rate. And rates kind of just started to tick up for two reasons. Number one, I guess in anticipation of this meeting, but also inflation. Inflation is the biggest thing that impacts interest rates. If I'm going to go on and on here, Mike, so feel free to jump in and say, all right, you're getting out of control here, Sean. But basically, we're lending money for 30 years. We know how much that money is going to, we know what interest is being charged and what is being made on these dollars being lent up, of course. So if the dollar is weaker due to inflation, whether it's 6 months from now or 10 years from now, that investment is weakened. And, how do you counter that? By upping the mortgage rate. So that's really in the big picture, inflation being the number one thing. And it's sort of strange here because to lower inflation, you need to raise the interest rates. Well, inflation and raising interest typically will put mortgage rates up a little bit, but one should help the other. So that's what's kind of led to what's on the horizon next week. But there was a curveball or two thrown in here over the last couple of months. Home prices being up part of that, but Ukraine and the oil price is here next.
Yeah, so I think that the thing you want to embed into your scripts, right, or your planned dialogues is, when somebody asks about interest rates, what's going to happen with interest rates? I think you can feel confident to say that they are very likely to go up. The bigger questions are when and by how much. Right. We as a country, the Fed has never broken the back of non-transitory inflation without taking interest rates up. Some would argue up above and beyond the consumer pricing index increases. Hopefully we're able to solve for some of that. And I won't go a deep dive down that, but the thing that you want to I think you want to say, and Sean, correct me if I'm out of line here, but it's not really an if, but by when and how much, because and that is going to prepare people for you're planning on buying in the fall. It's going to be a very different scenario than buying in the spring. Maybe a point, maybe 3/4 of a point, maybe only half a point, right? There's no crystal ball on that side of things, but we're probably not going to see anything in the threes this year. Fair?
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's probably safe to assume, with interest rates, it's like Cleveland weather. Just assume it's going to be raining, and if you get sun, it's a gift. So more or less with interest rates, probably best to prepare for that increase. And, if we're surprised by the opposite, obviously that's a good thing. But I would certainly prepare, or, my script would certainly be, yes, you might be paying more for a house today than you might have expected, but get in now before rates tick up a little bit more. And I would agree with your sentiment there.
Yeah, and so then the next thing that I'll say is, if you get a question of like, well, what's going to determine that? No geopolitical forecasting here, right? No crystal ball here either. But the sooner things are over in the Ukraine and in Eastern Europe and Russia, the less likely it is that we'll have to be as aggressive with interest rates, because as energy prices increase and the price of inputs increase, that increases the price of everything else, which floats that CPI up. So, if this thing is done before Easter, there's a completely different playbook in terms of interest rates versus, if we're, trick or treating with this in the background, very different worlds, right? So, I would encourage you to just kick that can down the road, but at least have something to say other than I don't know, so that you're able to advance the conversation with your clients, because the number one thing that I think is coming out of all of this is a lot of concern and trepidation and some impact on consumer confidence. And so, consumer confidence, yeah, whatever's on the news is on the news, but when they're talking to you as their real estate professional, your ability to imbue confidence in the situation by having some understanding of where things might be headed is going to help them feel better about it as well.
Yeah, and just if I could add to that too, 5% interest rates feel 4.5%, 4% even feels extremely high because of what we've seen over the past 2 years and, and COVID and all of that. I'm just pulled up a quick chart here. November 2018. So not even 3.5 years ago, we were sitting at 5.17% on a 30-year fixed. We were still selling houses. And just before this phone call, I had a conversation with somebody who got pre-approved in January, found a house, was under contract this weekend, and we started crunching numbers. And we had that talk about rate. The rate's about 0.3% higher than where he was when we did the pre-approval. And I said, just for a little perspective, here's what your payment is now. Here's what it would have been if we were able to get, the rate we were when we did pre-approval. And it was a difference of about $58 on a $330,000 house, something like that. It's like, oh, okay. Now he's back to just more thinking about him paying, 15% more than the house was listed for to get that. But really, it's all relative. When you look at the monthly payments and you look at kind of historically where we are, we're still in a very good spot historically. And affordability, believe it or not, is still very strong, almost surprising. But, just to give a little bit of silver lining to where we're at.
Yeah, and I'll find the slide from Family Reunion, guys. If you look at the cost of gas, the cost of food, the cost of homes, right? All over the course of the versus 1990, the cost of money, right? The cost of financing a home is down 24.2%. So the affordability of homes, right? The affordability of money versus 30 years ago is, is wild. But maybe another conversation for another time with more charts and graphs, right, Sean? All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and start cruising through here. We have some really awesome trainings upcoming. Hopefully all of you got this in your inbox last week. This is our March calendar. So please, if there is anything on there, if you did not receive this, reach out to any member of our leadership team and ask them for it. They will get it to you. If you see something on there that you want more information about or you would like to attend, please reach out to myself or any other member of the leadership team. A couple highlights. We have career nights in both Rocky River and Pepper Pike this month. Both will also be supported via Zoom. So please let your friends know that we are interested in helping them build a career in real estate. And would love for them to join us at either one of those or both. I mean, it's such a good show that we put on. It's worth seeing twice. I think anybody who's been there would agree with me. And then our Money Matters Mastermind this month is going to be around budgeting. I know, guys, just wow, there's going to be a line at the door for this one. As we see every spring and summer, the number of homes that we are able to sell, the opportunities that we have, and the gross commission income coming into our accounts is higher than it is in the following 6 months or the last 6 months. And so we want to be real sure that we are following that old adage of, if you don't tell your money where to go, you're going to wonder where it went, right? So how many houses are you going to sell this summer? What are you going to do with those commissions? And what is that going to mean for your life? We're going to talk about building a budget that keeps you between the ditches and in the riches. All right, just made that up. That was pretty good. And then next Friday as well, we will have our Black Realtor Network meet and greets. We haven't done one of these in a while. Very excited for this event. You're going to hear Jermaine talk a little bit more about that in just a few, but that is at Roll House in Solon from 4 to 6. We'll watch some basketball, hang out, have a great time. And then everybody in the company needs to put this on their calendar, needs to sign up. The link's going in the chat box in the Eventbrite. We are going to have a real play and simulation for winning in multiples. Right now, if you are living, and drawing breath right now, you understand that nearly every offer you're writing is up against others. And so we are going to have a great feature with Josh Young and a few other buyers agents to represent both sides of the conversations, right? And so I got into conversation with Josh a couple weeks ago, and he was incredibly helpful in illuminating some of the things that are common mistakes that'll immediately knock your opportunity, your offer out of contention from the listing agent's perspective, right? And so not just, we're going to have a conversation, not just with folks who write amazing offers and deliver and present great, amazing offers, but we're also going to have somebody who's sold over 100 listings last year tell us what he's looking for, and the way he presents information to his client, and what would help you as a buyer's agent representing the buy side win in multiples. This is an event that you will immediately take into that weekend and immediately apply to your business. And then everybody mark your calendars, please, for April 13th, Wednesday, April 13th. We will be meeting on some middle ground for an in-person sales meeting with a little bit of extra juice. So this is going to be our Q2 kickoff. Just a few days into the second quarter. We want to bring everybody together, get some good vibes, some good energy as we battle our way through the market. We're going to do a panel with some top agents. You're going to get, some good intel on the market and what to look for, what to watch for, and what to tell your clients. We're going to roll out an overview of the second quarter for us as a company, and then enjoy a keynote. So it'll be a blast. We'll have some light breakfast bites and coffee and fruit cups with more than just cantaloupe and honeydew in them. It's going to be a really good time, guys. So please mark your calendars for that. We're going to open the doors about a half an hour early to encourage some networking and some hugging for those that are comfortable. And then we're going to send you on your way right around noon. So do not miss out on that one. And then finally, anything and everything we do is available on the YouTube page channel. So hop on there and get that. All right, so now we're going to throw it to the partner updates. Sorry, Sean and Don, I already burned all your time talking about global conflicts. So we're going to go straight to Greater Metropolitan Title and Escrow.
Good morning, everyone.
Jade, good morning.
I just wanted to announce that GM Title has moved locations. They were in Parma, and they are now located in North Ridgeville. That doesn't really, that will not mess any service up. Everything will go, as everyone knows it will. But the only thing that we do ask is if there is any earnest money and you are thinking about sending it, please let me know. I would rather come pick it up. We have had some issues with the post office. So I really encourage you guys to tell your clients to either deposit it online, but if they are not able to do so or they don't feel comfortable, please give me a call. I will be more than happy to make arrangements so that I could pick that up.
Awesome. Anything from Tiffany this morning? I think I saw you on there. If not, we will keep on cruising. All right.
Good morning, everybody. Just reiterating what Jade said, even though we're under a new roof, it's the same team, same great service. We'll be sending out a picture that you guys can save to your phones, keep it with you, send it to the buyer's agent or listing agent, whichever side, you know, the non-referring agent is on, telling them where we are, who we are, how to deposit the earnest money, how to open orders, all that great stuff. So you can save that, forward it on via email or even text message. And as Jade said, earnest money, the Postal Service is a mess. I'm sure you guys have noticed in your lives as well. We really don't recommend people mail in earnest money. We will pick it up at your office or the other agent's office or their homes, whatever the case may be. We'd much rather know that they're in hand than leave it to the United States Postal Service. So, and really online is so much easier anyways. We encourage everybody to do that. So thanks for all the support so far this year. And we're looking forward to answering any questions you might have.
Love it. Thank you so much. All right. And then Miss Gina Legeza with America's Preferred Home Warranty. Good morning, Gina.
Good morning, everybody. Just a few housekeeping items that I've wanted to bring up to everybody. I noticed that a lot of questions are, is our warranty transferable? Yes, it is transferable. And I'm actually going to put the form in the chat box. The warranty always stays with the property, but can be transferred. Say, for example, the client has to move or sell their home. We don't prorate, like if there's 8 months left, we can add an additional 4. Whatever is left stays with the home. Been getting a lot of questions for that. And also in this fast-paced market, a couple of things that have been coming up. What do I do if the client closed, less than a week ago and they want a home warranty? Please send the paperwork over to me personally. I'll make sure that they get real estate pricing, which will make you look good and make our client very happy. So those are the couple of things that I've been noticing the last couple of weeks in terms of getting a huge outpour from our agents. But as always, thank you guys for your business and looking forward to seeing everybody at our April event. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. And then I don't believe Jess is with us this morning. We are doing a little system conversion at Greater Metropolitan Management. So she's up to her elbows in spreadsheets and other fun stuff. So we are going to dive right into our conversation about our communities. And so our goal here this morning is really to educate and inform and open up and talk about how you can, as an agent in our company, benefit and be involved with our communities. And so I'm going to ask that Jermaine Brooks, can we pin him to the main screen? The Jermaine event, I believe, is what he goes by most often. But good morning, Jermaine. How are you, my friend?
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Jermaine Brooks. I've been with Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan since 2014. I just started the list sell buy team a year ago, actually a year and a half ago. So also part of the initiative that we're talking about now, which is Keller Williams Brown.
Yeah.
So
what exactly is that?
Well, it's funny that you asked that, and I started when I got the email to just tell what we are and what we do. It actually brought me back to a moment, and I started remembering. It started back in like June, July of 2020. It started from a phone call from Scott. That's when everything was turmoil and George Floyd and everything like that. And Scott just gave me a call just to see how I was doing being Black in America. And we had a deep conversation. And he said he was going to reach out to some other agents just to make sure that they were okay. And from that, we had a conversation. I think in the first meeting, it was like myself, Lisa Gaines, Satrina, Carol, James Ingram, Cliff. And we just had a conversation on first what was the feeling of being Black in America at that time. and also being a African-American Black agent in Cleveland selling real estate. It's sad to say that it's 2022 now, but as a minority agent, we still go through a lot of things, discrimination, race-related issues, and things like that. So we all came together. It was a dynamic meeting, and it was more of like a kumbaya moment in which things that I was going through, Carol might have been going through, or Satrina would have handled it a different way. And from there, we came up with our chapter of CLE, Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan Brown Network. It's actually, like I said, our chapter, because nationally, Keller Williams has done a great job with KW Brown, and they have a huge following on Facebook nationally. It's like 5,700 members nationally, and we keep pretty much the same mission. The mission nationally was based on to get agents of color together, share information, referrals, education, advocacy, and wealth building. So that's the same, momentum that we took here at our local office. So like you stated earlier, we do have a meet and greet. We're asking for as many agents, because that was also eye-opening at that meeting. We found out that we had like 425 or 427 agents at that time, and 100 of them were agents of color. Mm-hmm. And we didn't even all know each other. So that was our first mission, was let's get a roster, let's see who we are, let's start reaching out to everybody. At minimum, we should all know each other. If you have any questions or whatnot, then we can just reach out and start having those conversations.
Yeah, it's been a really awesome thing to see come together and to be a part of, and really appreciate leadership from you, Carol, Satrina, Cliff, Lisa, in keeping the conversation going. I think it's one of those things that, however you feel about anything, like the news is there to sell the news, right? And then they move on to whatever else is going to get eyeballs. And our opportunity, we're now 18 months into this endeavor and bringing people together and talking about what's needed and creating connections. So really appreciate your investment into the community and into the company as a result.
Yeah, and like I always tell you, I mean, it's one thing to say culture, and it's another thing to live it. And being able to have the opportunity, and it's an inclusion and the understanding that, yes, agents of color do go through other things compared to other agents, and to realize that and face the fact and see that gorilla in the room and deal with it together and work along with us is major. And that's the culture that we do have at this company.
Yeah, I love that, man. Well, do you want to give a quick plug for the next BRN event? I know we talked about it a little bit a minute ago, but what are we expecting here at the Roll House?
Wings, conversation, good time, and a couple drinks. And the basketball. Yeah, we're gonna watch basketball this time. Last time we got together was football season. Yeah. So it's just a real calm, collective meet and greet. Let's just get out, get as many agents as possible. We're gonna try to get to that 100, and so we can get everybody involved, and just, hi, my name is. It's real simple. Nothing. You don't have to come with the notebooks, and we're not taking notes. It's not going to be a panel discussion. It's just, hi, my name is, and let's have a drink.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Let's start there.
Let's start there. Well, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for sharing that. Can you throw your contact information in the chat box in case anybody wants to reach out, follow up, figure out?
Definitely will. And then I'm also going to put our local Facebook group as well. And you have to be invited to the national one, so we can do the invites as well. So I'll put that in there as well.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Jermaine, can they bring children, those that don't have a
babysitter? Yeah, definitely. That was one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Yep, that was one of the reasons why we picked Row House. So they do have the video games, they have bowling and everything like that. So we will have access to, I think, 6 lanes right outside. So yes, kids are allowed to come. Thanks, Carol.
Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, next to the main stage, let's bring out Wendy Dickson. Sorry, head fake. Wendy Dickson, who leads our investor mastermind, who had a tremendous session yesterday. Why don't you tell us a little bit first, Wendy, about who you are and what you do, and then dive into what's going on with this investor community.
Sure. Hi, everybody. It's good to see everybody's faces, the ones that put their faces on Zoom these days. But I'm Wendy Dickson, formerly Wendy Poltorek. I've been with the company. I've been licensed since 2013, with the company since early 2014. I started off in this industry as an investor, as many of you know. My husband and I have a company called CPD Realty and Holdings, aka CPD Homes. We concentrate on the flipping side of the business, but we also do rentals, and we're getting into the commercial aspect of it as well. But last year, Mike and I had a conversation about how important it is that people understand what this side of the business is about, especially being realtors ourselves. There are so many levels of real estate that you can be involved in, not only with your license, but without your license. And the way the world goes today, and we hear about inflation and all the different things that are going on, what we can do for ourselves is to build our own capital, right? To build our own retirement. And real estate is such a tremendous way to do that. So I think that it was important that we put together a group, especially with 425 agents plus, that we have open conversations about this for anybody who's interested in all the different sides of investing.
So what are some of the things, we meet quarterly for this investor mastermind. What are some of the things that you've covered in the last year?
I think some of the big important things are, like yesterday at our meeting, we talked about, we walked through a case study, David and I, with a group of about 25 of us, on what it takes to find, finance, renovate, and sell a property. And I think it was really eye-opening to a lot of people in the room, which was great because it's something David and I have been doing for 10 years. And we tend to not take it for granted, but not realize how important it is to just see it on paper, just see it on the screen, and to understand the different aspects of being ready to flip, right? Having the capabilities and the understanding and the knowledge and education to flip. So that's super important. I think one of the things that we had a small Zoom call about last year was investing through your IRA. This is something that we found out about 10 years ago that is a tremendous way to build wealth. I'd like to talk more about that at another time, but it's something that everybody needs to keep in mind. Many of our private lenders, we use private lending. So we use other people's money, including our own. We lend as well, but it's important to understand the different ways that you can invest your money. Investing through a Roth IRA with a custodian, we have 2 great local custodians here in town, is a great way to build wealth. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that, through 401ks, through some health. There's HSAs, there's different ways you can, Roth IRAs is the best way, but there's so many different ways you can do that. So I think that's the next step. I think everybody just needs to know that if you're interested, we also, per what Jermaine said about the Facebook group, we also have a Facebook group that I want more people who are interested to reach out to myself or Mike. And please join us if you have interest. It's not just if you're doing it. Right. It's if you have some interest in it, because there's a lot of great information that we're going to share there. I want everybody to build their business the way that they feel that's fit for them. But this is just another aspect of that.
Yeah, I think we set out in our initial conversations, Wendy, we said, we want to serve people who are investors, agents who are investors, or agents who work with investors, right? So
Right.
there aren't, there's nobody's not welcome at these things. We really, we want to keep the conversation very tactical, right? You can watch any YouTube video you want about how to build wealth through real estate, but to really sit there and flip through the packet that you put together yesterday. Going back to what Jermaine said about, how this is such an important representation of our culture. I just want to ask, how much do you think you and David have spent on education over the last decade to be able to operate at the level that you currently do?
Oh, man. It was a big chunk at the beginning.
Right?
I would say it's probably close to 50,000, but that's in the last 10 years, right? What's beautiful about our company is that we share, right? We're here to build that culture and share. And I got a call from Nikki right after the meeting and had some questions. I talked to a couple of agents right after. I think it's most important that we understand that we are all here for you, not just the leadership team, but the other leaders and the other people in our brokerage. Please don't ask questions.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did, because we've made a lot of mistakes, and to help people possibly avoid those mistakes is great. And it's also, like you said, Mike, there's a lot of agents out there that work with investors. You almost have to put your investor hat on. Even if you're not an investor and you're working with an investor, you have to understand where they're coming from, right? So you have to have a little bit more knowledge on what it is that they do, how they do what they do, and to give them solid advice on how that's going to affect them with buying in this market, especially out-of-state investors.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. And for anybody who's wondering how much a ticket to yesterday's mastermind costs, $0, right? So that is thank you for investing in our agents and in this community. I think that we've got some really high aspirations for how we can all come together and maybe do some investing as a group. And so be on the lookout for that and leverage unique streams of income and all that stuff. So Wendy, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. If you could drop your contact information and
Sure.
the Facebook group in the chat box, that would be awesome. All right, and then we will now bring our headlining act, as she is requested to be referred to as, Alison Benoit. Good morning, Alison. How are you?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I am absolutely divine. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do.
I am Alison Benoit. I am with the New Homes team at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. I have been here for, gosh, I think it's 8 years now. And I am also on Keller Cares, which I onboarded at Keller Williams on Tuesday, way back when. And on Thursday, I was sitting in my first Keller Cares meeting. So join. If you don't join this committee, join another committee. It's a great way to make friends, get to know other agents. So most people, when they think of Keller Cares, we are kind of the party committee, because we are. We like to party. We're fun. We are the Red Day folks. We are the clam bake folks. We are throwing raffles and just having fun all the time. But the reason that we do all that is because we party with a purpose. We are raising money, and the purpose of raising all of this money is to help agents in our brokerage and in Keller Williams that have something unexpected come up in their life. And what we find is that sometimes people have a problem asking for help. So if something happens and you need help, just like you need somebody to sit in inspection or you need somebody to help because you've got 2 buyers that can only go at the same time and they have to see the house today because it's going to sell tonight, ask for help. So I thought I would take this time, instead of talking about our parties, to talk a little bit about the people that we help.
I love that.
So maybe, well, it had to be before COVID because they were traveling. We had an agent who was on vacation and her husband had a medical emergency and ended up in the hospital. He was in the hospital in ICU for a few days. And then when he was released from the hospital, he could not travel home. So, well, it may sound like it's a great thing to be stuck in paradise. When you're stuck in paradise and you're sick, it's maybe not such a great idea. And it's also incredibly expensive. So Keller Cares stepped up to the plate. We called the front desk of the hotel and asked for recommendations for restaurants in the neighborhood. And we bought them gift certificates so they could have a nice meal delivered. Not that I'm sure the hotel had great room service, but just something a little bit different. So that is one way in which we have helped somebody. We had an agent in our brokerage whose home was broken into and things were stolen, but mostly all of her electronics were stolen. So she didn't lose her cell phone because she had it with her, but she lost her iPad, she lost her computer. We found out about it because she lost her database. So put your database in a CRM, not on your desktop. But when she came to the leadership team looking for help with her CRM, they told Keller Cares, and Keller Cares gave her money to buy a new computer because you can't do this job without a computer. We also had somebody who had a normal everyday surgery, like an appendectomy or something that went wrong. And she ended up being stuck at home for about a month, not able to work. She didn't have family in the area. We sent her Uber Eats because that was during COVID. We have helped people that their car broke down and they were new agents, and we gave them some money to help get a car fixed. We love to send people who are sick spoonful of comfort. It is the best soup you ever get. Please, if you're sick, let us know. So the point of this is we have helped people with big catastrophic life altering, but we also help you with that day-to-day bump in the road. So how you can help us is join the committee. We are so fun and you feel really good about yourself at the end of the day because you're helping people, but also please be our eyes and ears. If you have somebody that you are friends with, let Keller Cares know, let leadership know. We have a very small committee that decides on how we help people. It is all incredibly confidential. And if you give us a referral of somebody who is struggling, we call them and we don't rat you out. So stitches gets, what is it? Snitches get stitches. And then we got to send you a spoonful of comfort. And it's just this big thing. So we keep everything super confidential. So please, if you know anybody that is struggling, and again, it can be something little, it does not have to be life altering. We are there for you for that also. But let us know if you have a friend that's struggling. We are here to help. That's what we do.
Yeah. And we're able to do it. How do we get this money? Again, just to, where did we get almost $18,000 last year? I mean, almost $12,000 last year. How do we come up with that from these green sheets commission requests? Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, you can give a little bit out of every deal that you do. And that really, really adds up. And, for instance, I think I give $10, $20 out of every deal I do, which lately has been none. But that's okay. There's hope in the horizon. And it's really easy to do. You contact Julia or Sierra or Carrie, and they'll just let them do it for you. It's much easier than trying to figure it out. Just call them and boom, it's done. At the same time, you can call them and ask them to split some of your commission to put into a tax savings account. Plug for Money Matters.
Yeah, love that.
and, or, you know, just attend any of our events. But the green sheets is a real easy way to do it.
And you, as you said, it adds up. I mean, there's not a line item in the budget for this. You know, what you guys, what we as an organization and we as individuals contribute is, you know, is what we have to work with. And it's really overwhelming to see how charitable our agents are and how much they care about one another. So it's a hallmark to who we are as an organization and our values, and appreciate your leadership on that front, Alison. Thank you so much. You want to drop your contact information in the chat box in case somebody has something else or maybe knows somebody that we can help? That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, and then we are going to bring it home here with yours truly, as we have two other communities that we started last year that we are really excited to talk about. One is our profit share mastermind. So Keller Williams is very unique in its profit share component. There is literally no other company like it. Trust me, if anyone tells you they have something like it, they don't. And I'm more than happy to explain why. But for our company, we have this really awesome thing that when our agents perform at a high level and attract other people to the organization, by being great people, they benefit from the success of that individual and the success of our company. And so we have a quarterly mastermind for people who participate in or who are interested in participating in profit share to help them build relationships, go deeper on the conversation about Keller Williams, to make sure that first and foremost, you're maximizing the opportunities that exist at Keller Williams for you. And so this has been a really strong community. We've had some great conversations. Yes, it'll occasionally involve goal setting. Yes, it occasionally involves picking up the phone. I'm sure that you are all inclined to do those things as real estate agents, so it's pretty easy. But it also puts you in a conversation similar to the investor mastermind around passive income and what life could look like if you had $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 more a year in passive income. How would you use it? What would your life look like? And really start to stretch the imagination in terms of what's possible, because we are the fourth most profitable market center in the world, and there is no other market center in the world where profit share is more valuable than it is here. And so to take advantage of that here and be in community and relationship with other people who do is incredibly powerful. And so we meet on the 21st of the first month of each quarter. So April, July, and October are our remaining profit share masterminds. Just keep your peepers peeled for the April calendar. You're going to see it on there. And please show up. And then if you are somebody who is overwhelmingly passionate and experienced in profit share or the concept of it, then we are always open to a leader in this community. And if you're interested in stepping up and taking advantage of a leadership opportunity, there's one available. You should reach out to me. And then finally, our monthly Money Matters Mastermind, because Mike likes to alliterate, is on the third Friday of every month. And this is something that we heard directly from you all. A lot of agents raised their hand over the course of the last 18 months and said, hey, selling houses is awesome, right? Making money's awesome. Keeping money's even more awesome, right? How do I keep it from the government? How do I invest it in the stock market? How do I make sure that my money's making money for me, right? There's a million different things we could talk about around money. And so that's why on the third Friday of every month, we have a conversation about money. It might be about life insurance. It might be about health insurance. It might be about taxes and accounting or budgeting, bookkeeping, and you name it. I mean, or maybe there's something that you're like, hey, I need to understand this better to unlock my financial future. Let me know. Let someone on the leadership team know, and we will find an expert, bring them to the table, and provide a great experience. And again, if you are particularly passionate about this subject matter and you are looking for a leadership opportunity, I'm your guy. Reach out to me and let me know. But in the last 18 months, we've stood up 4 of these 5 communities, and Keller Cares has been here from the very beginning. But we love the opportunity to be in community and in relationship with the agents, all helping one another and bringing our culture to life. So thank you to everyone who participates, shows up, asks questions, donates, or throws out ideas. All of those things are so, so powerful to keeping things moving in the right direction. So thank you all so much. And thank you for being here this morning. We are barreling towards the bottom of the hour, and I am going to turn you all loose to go find one of those 3 houses that's currently for sale for your buyers. All right. Have an awesome, awesome week, everyone. And we will see you all real soon. Thanks.